When you've exhausted all your options, when your words have run dry, your hands are tied, and your resources have reached their limit, there is still one thing you can give, and it just so happens to be the most powerful thing of all: prayer. We often talk about prayer as if it's a spiritual accessory, something we do when we've run out of practical solutions. But biblically, prayer was never meant to be the last resort. It was meant to be the first response, the highest act of love, the deepest form of trust, and the most effective weapon in the believer's hands. Prayer is not weak. It's not passive. It is a direct invitation for heaven to invade earth. When you pray, you're not just offering comfort, you're releasing power. You may not be able to give someone financial help. You may not have the perfect words to comfort their grief. You may not be close enough to solve their crisis. But when you bow your head and lift their name to the Father, you are doing something that reaches further than your hands ever could. You are placing them in the hands of the one who knows them fully, loves them completely, and sees what you cannot. Psychologically, prayer brings profound clarity and connection. It realigns our anxious minds with eternal truth. It shifts the burden from our shoulders to God's. When you pray for someone, you're not only doing something for them, you're doing something in you. You're training your heart to trust, to release, to surrender control, and invite peace. That's why people who pray often are not weaker. They're actually more resilient. Prayer doesn't remove the storm, but it anchors you in it. Philosophically, prayer is one of the few acts in life that is both entirely selfless and eternally significant. It demands no recognition. It earns no applause. It can be done in secret, and yet its impact can echo for generations. The one who prays understands a critical truth. I may not have the power to change this situation, but I have access to the one who does. That's not a fallback. That's a foundation. So don't underestimate what happens when you say, I'm praying for you. If those words are more than a cliche, if they're followed by genuine intercession, they might just be the most valuable gift you can give. Prayer costs you nothing, but it releases everything. It costs no money, but it invests eternal treasure. And unlike any other gift, prayer works when you're asleep, when you're absent, when you're out of ideas, and even when the other person doesn't know you're doing it. Give what you can. Help where you're able. But above all, pray. Because when you pray, you are giving them the most powerful gift possible, the power of God on their behalf. When all else fails, prayer doesn't. Because heaven never ignores a voice that intercedes in love.